Welcome to the Psychology World podcast with me, Connor Whiteley, psychology student and international best-selling psychology author of over 30 psychology books, bringing you the latest psychology news, fascinating psychology topics and more each week. If you want to learn more, then please check out connorwhiteley.net/books. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube video or follow on your favourite podcast app. And here's the show. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 332 of the Psychology World podcast with me, Connor Whiteley. And today's episode is on why do DEI initiatives help everyone? And it is Tuesday the 10th of June 2025 as I record it. So today's episode is absolutely brilliant, and it's so eye-opening and mind-blowing because whenever we hear about diversity, equality and inclusion initiatives, we always tend to think of them as only benefiting certain people because of the lies and misconceptions that people have told us. But in reality, EDI initiatives impact everyone and they benefit everyone. And when I learned that, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And this is what I really wanted to do a podcast episode on it though, because it's really useful, it's really helpful, and this really does benefit everyone, including the straight white men who traditionally the media tries to paint as the enemy of EDI initiatives. This is a brilliant podcast episode. It's very eye-opening, it's fascinating, and I know you're going to learn a lot from it, because I know I did. So you've got that to look forward to in the content part of today's episode. And as always, I always love to hear your thoughts and feelings on today's episode, so you can always email me, connorwhiteley@connorwhiteley.net. You can always leave a comment on the show notes at connorwhiteley.net/podcast, and you can always tweet on Twitter at Sci-Fi Whiteley, or leave a comment on the Facebook post or LinkedIn post. And today's episode has been sponsored by Social Psychology, a guide to social and cultural psychology. So the reason why this is a great sponsor for today's episode is because the media and the haters of EDI initiatives always tend to paint initiatives as us versus them, people who they help and people who they don't help, which is not how this works whatsoever. But what's the social psychology behind it? How can we use psychological theory to explain why this strategy of the haters actually works? So this great, really easy to understand book breaks down a lot of the social psychology topics into bite-sized, easy to understand chunks. So by the end of this book, you'll be able to understand what's the psychology of persuasion, what's the psychology of in-groups and out-groups, and our social relationships. How do our group identities, how do our self-esteem and social comparison, how do these impact our behaviours? And also, how do our social groups impact our behaviour? And then you also get to look at one of my favourite areas, cross-cultural research. So how does our coach impact our behaviour? And so many other brilliant facets of social psychology. So I really recommend this great, really easy to understand book. Social Psychology, a guide to social and cultural psychology, available from all major ebook retailers, and you can order the paperback and the hardback version from Amazon, the local bookstore or local library if you request it. And you can also get the audiobook narrated by artificial intelligence from selected audiobook retailers like Spotify, Kobo, Google Play and Barnes & Noble, and selected library systems like Overdrive, Biblioteca and Bacon Taylor. So whilst buying books helps to support the creation and the editing of the podcast, my time is sponsored by my wonderful patrons, and as always, a massive thank you to my patrons. Your support shows that you like the show and you want to continue. So if you want to become a patron of the show, and get access to tons of great rewards, including over 60 exclusive blog posts, which will be made into podcast episodes for weeks, months, or even years, then please head on over to patreon.com/the Psychology World podcast. Or if you want to support the podcast on a one-off basis, then now you can at buymeacoffee.com/Connor Whiteley. So that's enough of the introductory matter. Let's move on to the content part of today's episode. So we're moving on to the content part of today's episode. So we're going to be talking about why do EDI initiatives help everyone. This is a brilliant podcast episode. You're going to learn a lot, and this is just such an insightful podcast episode. So let's dive into it. Why do EDI initiatives help everyone? Unfortunately, in recent years, there has been an increase in people thinking that EDI initiatives mean that only certain people benefit from them. These are social others, and it doesn't help them as an individual. This leads some people to believe that EDI initiatives eat up organisational opportunities and resources that are limited, so that once these opportunities and resources are gone, then there is nothing left for anyone else. At first, I understand this sort of thinking, but we are often led to believe that opportunities and resources are finite and really hard to get a hold of. But the people telling us this are the people in power. It is in their interest to make us believe this idea. These are the same people who have far more opportunity, wealth, and power than most of us can ever imagine. In addition, this kind of fixed pie or zero-sum belief creates backlash and resistance to EDI initiatives, but this thinking doesn't reflect the reality. In reality, good, well-thought-out EDI initiatives are designed to expand the opportunities and resources within an organisation so there is enough for everyone. There is no fixed pie, there are no limited resources, and no one is going to be disadvantaged by EDI initiatives. Moreover, diversity and inclusion applies to everyone because it encompasses everything, including your sexuality, sexual orientation, gender, race, socio-economic status, mental health experiences, and any other meaningful characteristics. This means that straight white men and women are also part of diversity and inclusion. Another way to think about EDI initiatives is that as of 2024, there are over 340 million people living in the United States, and 50 of them are aged over 40, and 59% of them were white, and 41% of them were non-white. This means that good EDI initiatives are designed to make sure that there are just as many resources for white people than non-white people. Same goes for the 7% of LGBT plus people in the United States compared to 93% of heterosexual people. Good EDI initiatives are designed to make sure everyone benefits and everyone is supported. No one is left behind, regardless of whether you're white, black, straight, gay, whatever. Typically, whenever people think about EDI initiatives, we tend to think about hiring policies and admission policies. However, EDI initiatives are actually a lot better than that, because similar to curb cuts, which at first I had no idea what they actually were though. So if you're in the United Kingdom, these are dropped curbs. These allow and help everyone to cross the street and get back onto the pavement or sidewalk for you Americans. These drop curbs are helpful for people with mobility challenges, people in wheelchairs, children riding bikes, people pushing pushchairs, and delivery people pushing large carts for deliveries. These drop curbs help everyone who use them. EDI initiatives are the exact same. As a result, people who have positive and negative mental health experiences, they both benefit from EDI initiatives of increasing natural light in the workplace. We know that natural lighting increases mental health, so this is one example of an EDI initiative helping everyone else. Another example is reducing speeded tests in jobs where speed isn't needed. This makes it so much easier for neurodivergent people, and better yet, it means it reduces stress for neurotypical people. Is an EDI initiative that reduces stress for everyone a bad thing? Of course not. A final example of an EDI initiative that benefits everyone is gender-neutral bathrooms. It means everyone has the choice and comfort to use whatever bathroom they want. And as a personal example, once I really needed a toilet in the psychology building of my university, but all the male toilets were either being cleaned or out of order, and I seriously did not want to go to another building. To be honest, I don't think I could have lasted that long. Thankfully, I knew where the gender-neutral bathrooms were, so I was saved. Conclusion. Ultimately, there are a lot of benefits to EDI initiatives because they truly do help everyone, regardless of your sexuality, gender, race, etc. These EDI initiatives help to improve productivity and the mental health of all workers. And at worst, these EDI initiatives help some people and harm no one. This is why EDI initiatives will never be a zero-sum game, and there will always be enough resources and opportunities for everyone. Therefore, at the end of this episode, I would suggest that whenever you hear someone, be it a friend, family member, or a politician, saying that EDI initiatives are threatening your community and they're making you worse off, critically think about their so-called claim. Question whether they're telling the truth or not, because if EDI initiatives are cut back, and if you get rid of them, then everyone will be negatively impacted. There are no ifs, buts, or maybes about this. EDI initiatives help everyone, so they have to be protected. Otherwise, everyone gets harmed. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode and you got something out of it. I know that I did. Was thinking about EDI initiatives as drop curbs and seeing how they benefit everyone is really useful and really impactful. So I really did enjoy that. And if you know anyone who would enjoy today's episode, then please share it with them. I'm always really grateful when you wonderful people help spread the word about the podcast. And if you want to know more, then please check out Social Psychology, a guide to social and cultural psychology, available in all the usual places. And if you want to become a patron of the show, then please head over to patreon.com/The Psychology World Podcast. Or if you want to support the podcast on a one-off basis, then please head over to buymeacoffee.com/Connor Whiteley. So, have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Found it helpful. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow the podcast on your favourite podcast app. And if you wanted to learn more, then please check out the backlist of the podcast episodes or my books at conwhiteley.net. So have a great day and I'll see you next time.